Polarity, adapted by Kevin Preece from an original story by Christina Whitby. Once upon a time, there lived a little girl who lived in the North Pole. She wanted a polar bear for a pet. She saw polar bears by the mountain, but she never petted one. One night, before the family went to bed, the little girl asked her father if she could have a polar bear for a pet.
"Are you crazy? You would be killed!"
he yelled. "But I want somebody to be my friend, like my mother was," she replied. The little girl's mother went for a walk and never came back. Everyone thought that she had been attacked by a mother polar bear. The little girl missed her mother so much. Each night before they went to bed, the little girl asked her father if she could have a polar bear for a pet, but he always gave her the same answer.
"Are you crazy? You would be killed as well as your brother and I."
That night, the little girl cried herself to sleep. In the morning, the little girl asked if she can go ice fishing.
"Okay,"
said her father.
"but watch out for polar bears."
The little girl went ice fishing. 10 minutes later, the little girl was minding her own business and catching a lot of fish. Then, when she looked behind her, she saw a polar bear. The little girl screamed in fear. She ran back home very fast, shut the door, and locked it. The little girl's father asked,
"What are you doing?"
The little girl said, "I saw a polar bear," and she had tears in her eyes.
"I'll teach that polar bear not to scare my daughter like that,"
he said as he went and got the harpoon. "How are you going to do that?" she asked.
"Never mind,"
said her father.
"This is excellent work. You should be very proud of yourself. A+.
When her father got outside, the polar bear was gone, so he didn't believe her. When he came back in, he told her it was time to go to bed. The little girl went to brush her teeth and was going to go to bed. Then she saw a polar bear right there in front of her door. Before the little girl could scream, the polar bear said,
"No, little one, don't scream."
The little girl was amazed. A talking polar bear? I'm hearing things.
"I am the great wishing polar bear. What is your wish?"
asked the polar bear. "I've never heard of a talking polar bear," the little girl said.
"That is because no one has ever seen me,"
said the polar bear. "Well, my wish is to have a polar bear for a pet," said the little girl.
"I'm afraid I can't give you that wish,"
said the polar bear. "Why can't you?" asked the little girl.
"Because your father already said no,"
said the polar bear.
"But I hear you have another wish."
"Yes, I do. I wish my mother was alive again," the little girl said sadly.
"Well, your mother is not dead,"
said the polar bear. "What do you mean?" asked the little girl.
"Well, somehow she survived. Now go to bed,"
said the polar bear. The little girl went to bed. When she got up, she heard a knock at the door. She went to the door and opened it. There stood a woman in a coat with a hood. The little girl said, "Who are you?" The woman took down her hood, and there stood her mother. "Hello," said the little girl's mother. The little girl raised her hands up to give her mother a hug. "Mommy," she said.
Hey, noob.